there, welcome to Siyasat TV. It is Monday, March 29, 2021. I am Sumaya Junaid Ahmed in Hyderabad, where we get you all the big news stories of the day from across India and the world. And here is our top headlines.
Sharad Pawar unwell, will be hospitalized on Wednesday for surgery, says NCP spokesperson Nawab Malik. Mamata Banerjee on wheelchair leads 8-kilometer Padyatra in West Bengal. Rape survivor tied with rope paraded with her attacker in Madhya Pradesh. India reports 68,000 COVID cases in the biggest first-day surge since October. Mask up and avoid gathering or get fined in Telangana. Giant ship turns after blocking Suez Canal for 6 days. Army fires at funeral as Myanmar mourns a day of mass murder.
Let us begin with our top story. Nationalist Congress Party Chief Sharad Pawar has been diagnosed with a gallbladder disease and will be operated for the same on 31st of March. His party informed today a cancer survivor, the 80-year-old former union minister, had undergone surgery for the illness in 2004.
NCP spokesperson Nawab Malik today tweeted saying that Mr. Pawar had felt some pain in his abdomen last evening and has undergone a checkup, following which the doctors found stones in his gallbladder. All his programs now stand cancelled until further notice. In the afternoon, Mr. Pawar himself tweeted saying Union Health Minister Harsh Vardhan has called him, inquiring after his health. The diagnosis of Mr. Pawar's illness comes amid a major crisis in Maharashtra. Vikas Aghadi government led by Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, the NCP, is part of the coalition along with Shiv Sena and the Congress.
Moving on to our next story, a quiet Holi was celebrated in many parts of the country as public celebrations in most states have been prohibited amid the recent surge in COVID cases. Road wore a deserted look and police manned various areas in cities for patrolling and security.
Telangana police has increased patrolling in the capital and warned that strict action will be taken against those who do not follow coronavirus guidelines issued for the festival. Telangana has also banned Holi celebrations at public places in the state in the view of COVID pandemic.
All right, in the midst of fierce election campaign in West Bengal, Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee, injured earlier this month, held a roadshow in wheelchair in high-stakes Nandigram, which votes in the second phase of the state election. She led an 8-kilometer Padyatra, which was followed by a public meeting as the nation celebrates Holi. On Thursday, Nandigram will see a high-profile battle between Ms. Banerjee and her former aide Subhendru Adhikari. Now with the BJP, poll campaigning will soon end in the constituency.
In the video posted by the Trinamool Congress on Facebook, the West Bengal Chief Minister in wheelchair was seen greeting crowds with folded hands as party workers carrying flags accompanied her. Earlier in this month, the 66-year-old Trinamool Congress chief was injured. She said she was pushed by 4 or 5 people against her car and the door was closed at the time she was hit and no police personnel was around her.
Bharatiya Janata Party leader Kailash Vijayvargiya today said that violence is Trinamool Congress' last weapon, adding that politics of violence will end on 2nd of May. Speaking to the media, Kailash Vijayvargiya said, "This is the TMC's last weapon. This will be the last violence in the history of West Bengal. After May 2nd, the politics of violence will be over."
Reacting to the Union Home Minister Amit Shah's claim that the BJP will win 26 of the 30 seats in the West Bengal in the first phase of the assembly elections, Kailash Vijayvargiya said that he would not be surprised if the party wins all seats. The first phase of the West Bengal assembly elections concluded with an estimated 79.79% voter turnout on Saturday.
Former Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister Mehbooba Mufti tweeted today to say that the passport office has refused to issue her a passport on the basis of a report by a criminal investigation department.
Mehbooba Mufti was placed under detention along with hundreds of political leaders across Jammu and Kashmir since August 2019 when the centre scrapped the special status of Jammu and Kashmir granted under the constitution and bifurcated into 2 union territories. She was released last year.
In an appalling incident that shows sheer insensitivity against sex assault survivor, a 16-year-old girl who was allegedly raped in a tribal-dominated village in Madhya Pradesh was seen being paraded with the accused on Sunday. A disturbing video shows them both tied with ropes as people around chant slogans. 6 people, including the accused, have been arrested after the clip triggered shock and outrage.
The clip shows the young girl is being paraded with the accused as some men walking around them chanting Bharat Mata Ki Jai, long live Mother India. They were paraded after they were beaten up. The incident was reported from a tribal dominated Alirajpur district about 400 kilometers from the state capital Bhopal. Reports said the rape survivor's family members were among those who forced her to walk with the accused to shame her. Cops came to rescue of the girl when she was being paraded. Case against the accused has been filed under Indian Penal Code and under provision of the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act. In the case against the family members of the supervisor, Section 294 Obscene Act in public places, 355 assault or criminal forces with intent to dishonor person, 323 voluntarily causing hurt, 342 wrongful confinement and other sections of the IPC have been added.
Union Health Ministry data indicate up to 68,020 fresh coronavirus cases were reported in India over the past 24 hours, making its biggest one-day surge since October. This includes 291 deaths. The total number of COVID-19 cases in the country now stands at 1.2 crore with 1,61,843 deaths recorded till now since the outbreak hit India last January 2020. Telangana have recorded 403 new COVID-19 cases and 2 fatalities.
Maharashtra, which has been officially warned of another lockdown given the resurgence of the infection, reported an overwhelming majority of 40,414 cases of the total, along with 108 deaths. The state is already bracing for a shortfall in the healthcare infrastructure. It has been placed under a strict night curfew since Saturday midnight. The Delhi government has also reapplied restrictions on gatherings such as weddings and funerals amid big spike. Kerala, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu remain other worst affected states. This second wave of COVID-19 comes amid the heat of assembly elections in West Bengal, Assam, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Puducherry, where campaigning is in full swing, raising fears of a rapid spread of infections due to crowding. The Union Health Secretary on Saturday chaired a high-level meeting with 12 states and union territories to discuss the spike. The 5-step strategies was introduced to tackle the situation. The steps were exponential increase in testing, effective isolation and contact tracing, reinvigorating healthcare workers, ensuring COVID protocols are followed, and targeted approach to vaccination.
Let us shift our focus to Telangana, where the sun beating down relentlessly as summer peaks. Temperatures in several places in the state have already crossed the dreaded 40 degrees Celsius mark. While the capital city saw a mercury scorching past 39 degrees Celsius on Sunday, the situation across the state is already turning hot, with districts like Adilabad, Mancherial and Asifabad recording nearly 42 degrees Celsius, while Peddapalli, Jagtial and Nizamabad have recorded 41 degrees Celsius.
This could be just the beginning of a severe summer, officials say, also hinting that April and May could be the worst with the possibility of heat waves in parts of the state. According to Indian Meteorological Department officials, the maximum temperatures, which hovered between 35 degrees Celsius and 37 degrees Celsius in early March, are likely to cross 40 degrees Celsius in Hyderabad in few days.
Ignoring the latest state government orders making it mandatory to wear masks while going out can mean trouble in 2 ways, and contracting COVID-19 is only the second one, with the first to be that there will be a police case booked against you, with the Telangana government initiating steps to control the spread of COVID-19. Police forces in all the 3 commissionerates in the capital region have stepping a vigil against those violating the orders and roaming around without wearing masks.
Chief Secretary Somesh Kumar had on Saturday issued orders empowering the police and district administration to initiate action against those not wearing masks. With this, teams of police personnel are now on the job to detect those not wearing masks and also those who are not wearing them properly. A senior officer with Hyderabad City Police said instructions were issued on Saturday night itself to all the station house officers to initiate action against persons not wearing masks. Similarly, the traffic police will book case for violation after taking photograph of the violators. Violations will be checked from the command and control centers as well. Police in the neighbouring Rajakonda and Cyberabad commissionerates too have issued instructions to different wings, including the law and order and the traffic police, to register cases against the violators.
MLC Kalvakunta Kavita got her first COVID-19 vaccine at Nizam Institute of Medical Science today morning. Speaking to the media later, she advised the public not to have any misconceptions about getting the vaccine. She said that all the eligible people get
In the recent past, Kavita's husband Anil tested positive for the coronavirus, following which all the family members moved to home quarantine. Rajya Sabha member Santosh Kumar, Minister Niranjan Reddy also got vaccinated. MP Santosh along with his wife Rohini got their first vaccine shot at NIMS in Hyderabad.
Moving on to our international news, Egypt's Suez Canal Authority has said that the Ever Given container ship, which has been blocking the crucial waterways for nearly a week, was partially refloated and has been turned into the right direction. Suez Canal Authority Chief Osama Rabi said in a statement, the position of the ship, which has been reoriginated 80% in the right direction. The stern moved to 102 meters from the shores compared to its last position previously at 4 meters.
Monday's move comes a week after the container ship ran aground in high wind, blocking one of the world's busiest shipping lanes. More than 400 ships were waiting to be able to pass the Suez Canal. The head of the Suez Canal, Osama Rabieh, told local media that Suez Canal will operate for 24 hours after the issue is resolved, without specifying a timeline for it.
And according to the oil ministry, the Syrian government has started rationing the distribution of the fuel in the country amid concerns that shipment could be delayed because of Egypt's Suez Canal is being blocked by a giant cargo ship that ran aground. The Syrian oil ministry said on Saturday that the blockade has held up a ship that was carrying fuel and oil products from Iran, an ally of the Syrian government.
The ministry said in a statement, pending a resolution, the ministry is rationing the distribution of available oil products to ensure that the continuity of the essential services such as bakeries and hospitals. Meanwhile, the ministry expressed its hope for the success of the operations underway at Suez Canal. Even before the Ever Given ran aground, Syria had been suffering from fuel shortages, mostly caused by Western sanctions.
Myanmar security forces have opened fire on people gathered for the funeral of 114 people killed on Saturday in the bloodiest day since the February 1st coup, as the defense chief of 12 countries condemned the military for the crackdown on demonstrators. There were no immediate reports of casualties in the shooting at the funeral on Sunday in the town of Bago, near the commercial capital of Yangon.
So far on Sunday, there were no reports of large-scale protests in Yangon or the country's second city. Meanwhile, Japan, South Korea, the United Kingdom and the United States were among the countries that signed a joint statement on Sunday denouncing the military's crackdown. The other signatories were Australia, Canada, Denmark, Germany, Greece, Italy, the Netherlands and the New Zealand.
Before we wrap up our bulletin, let's have a look on our headlines.
Sharad Pawar unwell, will be hospitalized on Wednesday for surgery, says NCP spokesperson Nawab Malik. Mamta Banerjee on wheelchair leads 8-kilometer Padyatra in West Bengal. Rape survivor tied with rope paraded with her attacker in Madhya Pradesh. India reports 68,000 COVID cases in the biggest first-day surge since October. Mask up and avoid gathering or get fined in Telangana. Giant ship turns after blocking Suez Canal for 6 days. Army fires at funeral as Myanmar mourns a day of mass murder.
Well, that is the Siyasat TV English news for this Monday. Thanks for watching. I am Sumaya Junaid Ahmed. Have a great day.